The first ascent began 46 years ago in Oslo, Norway. Franny Defoe and Norris Bowden won the first pairs title ever for Canada. In 1957 in Colorado Springs, Barbara Wagner and Bob Paul got their first of 4 global golds, Canada's winningest pairs team ever. 1962 Prague, Maria and Otto Jelinek returned to the country of their birth, Czechoslovakia, to win another world championship for Canada. 22 years later, Underhill and Martini, Barbie and Paul captivated an Ottawa audience to capture gold. And in 1993, gold again in Prague. Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, Canada's last World Pairs champions. Until perhaps tonight, Salé and Pelletier could once again scale the summit. Nice, France could be the site of another Canadian conquest. But Jamie and David must be better than the best. Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz aren't in contention, looking for redemption. But in the way of everybody, the Chinese champions, close last year but denied a world title. And also in pursuit, Russia's Petrova and Tikhonov at the 2000 Worlds on CTV. Welcome to the 2000 World Figure Skating Championships, the 90th World Championships off the Côte d'Azur and inside the village where every day is a postcard moment. Many influential artists through the centuries have plied their trade in Nice, and many still working on it even today. And the pairs artists on ice tonight, Jamie Salé, David Pelletier. Coming into the building, the Palais des Expositions, closer to a dream than ever before. Only 2 short years after getting together, expecting a big crowd in here tonight. The first medals to be awarded at these World Championships. And welcome outside this beautiful building here in Nice, France, everybody. I'm Rod Black, and welcome to our coverage. Everywhere you go here in Nice, it's an absolute photo opportunity. It's a spectacular place. And before we get to tonight, let's talk about the spectacular happenings we had last night in the men's short program. That final flight was unbelievable. A number of quadruple jumps landed last night, 7 as a matter of fact. One landed by Alexei Yagudin of Russia, the 2-time defending world champion. He is the leader after the short program. He was brilliant. Also, the 17-year-old wonder kid, Evgeny Plushenko, he too with quad last night. He's in 2nd place. Michael Weiss of the United States landed his first quad ever in a short program. Inexplicably, he stumbled on a double axel later. He fell to 3rd place. And the man who made the quadruple jump an art form, Elvis Stoico, well, he fell on his quad, ironically, last night. He is in 4th, and once again, Elvis must play comeback. That will be tomorrow night here in Nice. The pairs competition is going to be a great one. Elena Bereshnaya and Anton Sigerlitze, the world champions, as many of you know, are not competing right now because Elena tested positive for a banned substance at the European Championships. They had to withdraw from here. The other Russian team, Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov, are in 2nd place. The Chinese are first, Zhuya Shen and Hongbo Zhao, and then the 3rd place team, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier. And Debbie Wilkes, I know a lot of people thought a couple of years ago when Jamie and David got together that they could someday win a world title. But I don't think anybody thought it could happen this quickly.
Well, no, they've only been together 2 years, and remember, this is their very first World Championship. I think it's important for us to look at the top 3 teams and do a comparison, and we'll do a rather extended one later on. To give you the short form, when you look at the Chinese team who are leading, it's strength, power, and thrills, the consistency of the Russian team, but Jamie and David are unbeatable when it comes to storytelling ability. Of course, further down the ladder, Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz are 11th. They were a little bit disappointed. The magic number that everybody must remember is 13. Any combination of the 2 final placements of our 2 Canadian pairs that equals 13 or better means we send 3 pairs to the World Championships next year in Vancouver.
Wouldn't that be something? So 13 could be a lucky number for Canada tonight. Let's send it inside now and join our reporter, Rob Faulds.
Rod, another incident involving pairs competitors here at the Worlds. The French champion, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardi. Bernardi was injured yesterday. He was allegedly attacked in his hotel room, suffering a scratch or a cut on his left forearm. It apparently required 3 stitches to close. You can take a look at the bandage. This from practice this morning. He did go through a complete run-through, doing all the lifts and moves, but he says he is mentally shaken and should be ready to go for tonight's competition. ISU President Ottavio Cinquata will meet the media tomorrow to discuss, among things, the withdrawal of Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikirlidze. As you know, Berezhnaya suffered from a positive drug test after the European Championships. And that was the question that we posed to you on CTVSportsNet.com. Should Berezhnaya and Sikirlidze have their gold medal from the European Championships taken away for this positive drug test? And 58% of you said yes, which leads us to tonight's question. We're going to ask you, should the free skate be run in reverse order of results from the short program? You can dial in to CTVSportsNet.com. We'll give you the results later this week. And as I take a look at my watch, we're getting close to a little action on the ice. Rod, Debbie, don't you think you should come back inside?
Or perhaps, Rob, we could just stay out here and enjoy it from out here. But I'll tell you what, we'll pick you up an espresso, nice cafe right over here. You and I get a little cafe au lait, maybe a baguette, and then get ready for the pairs free skate tonight here at the 2000 World Championships.
I'm there.
You got any money?
Yes,
okay,
let's go.
let's go. Building. Here is who we'll show you tonight. Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz first, followed by the second Russian team. The second last flight, and then the final flight featuring the French team, Maria Petrova, Alexei Tikhonov, then Shen, Zhao, and then Jamie Saleh and David Pelletier of Canada last. Just before Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz are about to skate, this happened in the building tonight. An awful fall with Yulia Obertus and Dmitry Palamarchuk of Ukraine, the former world junior champions, experiencing this.
It looked like Dmitry started to turn before Yulia caught his edge, maybe a result of an injured hand that he has. His right hand has been taped. We watched him struggle to get off the ice.
Out of any of the disciplines in this sport, this is definitely the most dangerous, and you can see Dmitry having problems. Taken away on a stretcher, and we will get an update from Rob Faulds. This reminding you of the United States team of Binabos and Handy. Paul Binabos recently also
nearly died
on the ice, and is in fact just starting to skate. And you can see Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz backstage.
On the ice,
we're forced to delay their preparations. Of course, that's the last thing we should be thinking about. We want to certainly express our best wishes to Dmitry Palamarchuk. We'll get an update momentarily, but now Sargent and Wirtz have to come on the ice after that delay. And they know that they have to bounce back from the other night, the short program where they finished in 11th place.
A very difficult position to be skating in. When an accident like that happens, the energy is just sucked out of the building. Now Chris and Christy will be working to try to bring it back in, to bring the audience's focus to their skating. Troubles with the side-by-side triple toes for both skaters. Now something has happened.
And Chris is now stopping. And it looks like he's going over to the organizers. And he said it's too much for him. So obviously that did throw them off in the preparation leading up to their skate. It looks like they may have been thrown off by something.
Remember, he had a similar fall in Ottawa at 98 Canadians. And I think that he's probably reliving that very event.
And so Christy and Chris still on the ice with the crowd encouraging them. We'll pick up the performance from where they left off. Is that correct?
That's the ruling.
Now to regain focus.
Go. Rod, this is when training really pays off. With such a shock, the body almost has to run on automatic. Setting up for their throw double axel. Finally, their very best element, what today is unusual, a backward outside death spiral.
Well, you said the word, Debbie, unusual. What a strange set of circumstances.
Sargent, Wirtz.
The team before they skated goes down with injury, and the male partner leaves on a stretcher. Sargent and Wirtz forced to go on the ice. As the stretcher passes by them, maybe that was just too much for Chris. We're not sure. We'll get an update in a moment.
They both tried to turn away so that they couldn't see how bad the injury was. Chris almost looks as if he isn't even there.
Let's join Rob Falls backstage with an update.
Dmitry Pelletier was taken to the medical room here at the Palais des Expositions. Jane Moran, the ISU doctor, was in there along with the Ukrainian doctor. Pelletier has now gone to the hospital. We are just waiting for the official word on their withdrawal from the competition. Joyce Heisey from the ISU is now speaking to the Ukraine committee about exactly what goes on. They must announce that they are withdrawing from the competition. As it stands right now, Pelletier has gone to the hospital.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he suffered some sort of concussion in that terrible fall. And then Christy and Chris, it looked like they just unraveled.
They are a hard luck team. You know, things happen to them. They have often had very serious falls during the event. Let's hear what they have to say.
You said that too?
There may have been something that threw him off. They wanted a warm-up, it looks like.
Because of the delay.
Oh, I know.
You know, Chris once said he would never restart. He also said it's a sport. You have to be a sportsman.
At the Grand Prix final, and they come back at the end. And they did.
There was a problem. They started the program, missed the side-by-side triple toes, but here, where usually they have planned a triple twist, it just never happened. And it was at that moment that Chris stopped.
You heard Chris's brother Paul, their coach, talk about the French team, Stéphane Bernadis and Sarah Abitbol. At the Grand Prix final, during a throw triple axel, Sarah hit the ice and was injured, apparently. They were allowed to reskate from the beginning of their performance, virtually erasing their mistakes. And I think they're a little upset that they weren't allowed to reskate. But in this case, something happened there, and it was obvious it wasn't injury related.
Then that's the difference. For Sarah and Stefan, they were allowed to reskate because there was an injury. Chris and Christy had no injury, other than the psychological one, of course.
Rob Falls, of course, will talk with them about this situation. They're the leaders right now.
5-3, 5-3.
And we'll see where they end up by the end of the night.
5-2, 5-4.
Once again, this is how everything transpired. First, the Ukrainian team and this terrible, terrible accident. Dmitry Pelletier on the ice, later carried away on a stretcher right in front of Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz before they were about to skate. That obviously threw them off. Early in their performance, they stopped. Chris told the referee that he just lost it mentally, could not go on, and lost his concentration. They did continue. And here they are now with Tracy Wilson.
Chris and Christy, courageous performance tonight. Chris, can you tell me what happened?
Nope. Nothing. Can't talk. Just nothing.
It's hard when you see something like that happen and then you have to go and perform, and I'm glad we could perform because I hope that okay. We're just kind of in shock. Sorry.
What allowed you to pull it together?
Can't talk.
Chris, has this happened to you before?
well, we've done it before, but it's hard when you see another person get injured, and when it comes right past you, it's hard to keep focused and to keep going. But I think for us, it was just we had to do it. I mean, we're here to do it, and we had no choice. So.
Thanks, Bo.
Let's check in with Rob Falls now.
We've just received the official medical advisory from the International Skating Union. Dmitry Pelletier suffered a concussion, or at least they believe it's a concussion. He lost consciousness in the skaters area for about 5 minutes, have taken him to a local hospital, St. Roch, where he will remain in the hospital for 24 hours under observation. We'll follow this story for you. Still to come here on CTV from the World Championships, the final 2 flights of the pairs competition.
So on a night when we worry about the health of a young Ukrainian male skater, and certainly about the status of Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz, we continue with the competition. The show goes on. Tatiana Tatmianina and Maxim Marinin of Russia.
A wonderfully passionate team. There's tons of originality in the choreography. Triple Lutz twist.
I don't know about you, but I think everybody in this building is holding their breath every time someone either does a twist or a throw. It's hard for everyone to regroup after something like that.
You worry, you feel very vulnerable. And if you're a pair skater, you've had a fall like that. Beautiful position on the overhead lift, but a very simple style for that particular lift. But wow, the triple jumps are fabulous. they left a lift out there. During practice, they were executing a final diagonal lift. The pair skating 4.5 minutes. And here is their final move, pair spin.
The third-ranked team in Russia, Tatiana Tatmianina, Maxim Marinin. Russia known for its great pairs teams. This is an up-and-coming one for sure. Their marks when we come back to the 2000 Worlds on CTV. This was 15-year-old Yulia Obertas leaving the backstage area, going up to the skaters lounge, obviously concerned about her partner, Dmitry Palamarchuk. Chris Wirtz obviously concerned too, and he and Christy Sargent leaving the building tonight after their performance. They are still up on the leaderboard, currently in second place. They could be and will be third after these marks to Tatmianina and Maxim Marinin.
And Rod, I think this team was affected by the whole evening as well. They lost that last lift, and you saw either through fatigue or mental exhaustion, they collapsed into each other's arms at the end of the program.
This has been a bizarre week already in pair skating. We started with the Berezhnaya positive test, Elena Berezhnaya. And then we've had the Stefan Bernadis stabbing incident. They will skate tonight, and apparently security guards not letting anybody even film Bernadis and Abitbol as they prepare for the free skate. There is Sarah Abitbol. More on that later.
Sur la glace, représentant la Pologne.
On the ice, representing Poland.
Dorota Zagorska, Mariusz Siudek.
They were the surprise of the pairs competition at last year's Worlds. The bronze medalists from Poland, Dorota Zagorska, Mariusz Siudek, currently in 7th position after the short program.
Seems like quite a drop from third. When you think about it, it is not a reflection that this team has not continued to improve. It's just, I think the rest of the field has improved more quickly. This team known for their incredible lifts and throws. Whoa. Now that twist was so good for one reason only. She was very, very straight up and down. Plus, I'm going to give a second reason. She was caught before she hit the ice.
Marvelous lift.
Another lasso. Pretty raggy on the throw triple sow cow. One of the major criticisms of this team has been that they lack finesse. They are not fascinating to watch. The choreography is fairly basic and not up to the standard of their incredibly innovative lifts. You will not see any better tonight. Every change of position creates a threat to the safety and success of a lift.
Well, someone needed to get the audience back into the competition. Zagorska and Shudek did. They will receive deductions, but they won't get any deductions for their lifts. Absolutely exquisite. Their marks in a moment. And coming up, the American champions, Ina and Zimmerman, on your Figure Skating Network, CTV. Habitable Stéphane Bernadise with a lot of security around. A stabbing incident yesterday. Someone attacked Stéphane Bernadise apparently with a razor straight blade. They do not know who the assailant is, what the
right at his
was.
hotel room.
Obviously taking a painkiller for the skate tonight. He has a heavily bandaged arm. And we will watch them, the final four teams, along with Kyoko Ina and Jean Zimmerman, who are next. These will be good marks. Should put them into the lead easily. Zagorska and Shudek.
5-5, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-6.
Very strong marks for technical merit, Deb.
I think the judges even feeling some comfort from good, comfortable lifts.
Marks for presentation.
And presentation marks from 5-5 to 5-7. The judges like them. That's why they're first.
5-6.
And those are the marks for the rest of the teams to beat. 5 teams to come tonight. Here in Nice.
5-7, 5-7. Thank you.
And in 6th place after the short
Sur la
program.
glace, représentant les États-Unis d'Amérique,
On the ice, representing the United States of America,
Kyoko Ina, John Zimmerman.
Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, the United States champions. Over the last couple of years since they've been together, I guess the best word to use these two would be unripe. They just haven't been ready for prime time. And you know what? This week they have skated like they are contenders.
They have come together. They have not had the expression of harmony, I think is the right word. Both excellent skaters, but they haven't meshed. They haven't gelled as a pair. There should be a oneness, a kind of a unity when you watch. And we've been all too aware that they are two individuals, not the goal of pair skating.
The barometer is side-by-side triple jumps. If you don't land them, you don't win.
I know it's a tactic to put what you consider the most difficult element first, just as a method of getting it out of the way so you can get on with the rest of the program, but I think sometimes the tactic backfires. Kyoko did get that throw triple Salchow.
This team finished 9th at last year's Worlds. Their first together. Kyoko, of course, used to skate with Jason Dungeon. In 1997, they finished 4th in the world and 4th at the Olympics in 1998. This partnership hasn't quite had that success yet.
Not yet. They're working a lot with Tamara Moscovina, the coach of world champions Berezhnaya and Sigur Yulitsi. She's worked some magic here, and I think in the future it will gel even better. Getting better as the program goes on.
They had a scratchy start, but a strong finish. Their same program as last year, by the way. They stayed on with it. The Phantom of the Opera, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman of the United States. John Zimmerman with coach Tamara Moscovina. What a week it's been for her. There is Elena Berezhnaya, who tested positive for a banned substance after the European Championships. And the world champion forced to withdraw from this competition.
5-3,
likely facing a suspension, kind of like the Silken-Laumann rule. She thought she had taken a medication for bronchitis that was obviously on the banned list.
Apparently, the ISU is going to be having a press conference tomorrow morning to dedicate themselves to the issues that whole question raises.
5-7.
Well, the bottom line is, it is her responsibility and athletes' responsibility. They have to play by the rules. We'd love to have the world champions here. It's kind of like having a golf tournament without Tiger Woods.
True enough. But you know what? Here, as we go to an icing, I'm kind of thinking that maybe we need this to change the karma in this place.
Here's how it stands right now before the final flight without Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Sigurlitse. And I'll tell you what, I don't know who is going to win. Usually you have an idea. The Chinese are probably the favorites, but any one of those 4 teams could win.
I agree. They're incredible, all in their own special way.
Let's join Rob Faulds.
I have never seen it as crazy backstage as this World Championships. Not only was there all the nervousness about the injury, well, the added security, and now it appears 3 or 4 extra cameras with the Stefan Bernardi attack, has this place so crazy that Jamie Saleh and David Pelletier decided not to warm up down here. They found another spot upstairs, tried to stay completely away from it, and they will concentrate on one thing, what has happened about 25 feet away from me. Let's check in now with Tracy Wilson, who has a report on the women's qualifying from earlier today.
The ladies' competition got underway today with the qualifying rounds, the first of 3 days of competition worth 20%. Canadian champion Jennifer Robinson had the free skate of her life. Let's take a look back at her performance, skating to music from the movie soundtrack, Yentl. Here's Jennifer Robinson. Landing more triple jumps than she ever has in competition, including 2 triple Lutzes with a high degree of difficulty. Jennifer Robinson of Canada. That performance was good enough for 6th place in qualifying Group B. That was a more difficult group to skate in than round A. Irina Slitskaya, current European champion of Russia, had the edge technically over Michelle Kwan of the United States. In qualifying Group A, Maria Buterskaya, the current world champion, looked more relaxed than I've seen her all year. She easily won that group. Rob Faulds caught up with Jennifer after her skate.
Well, despite the high number in the draft and having to skate so early, you put it all out there.
Definitely, I really had to, because this is probably the tougher group of the two, and I skate so early that I needed to go out there and do everything on one foot. No excuses, no exceptions.
As I counted, 6 clean triples. Is that the most you've ever done in competition?
Absolutely, but yeah, definitely. When the percentage was coming up, I had a little incident at home before I got here. I cut my left foot, which ironically hurt to 2 feet, and now Doug and Michelle want to step on my left foot every single day and make sure that cut stays open, so I appreciate the effort.
The philosophy coming here, what was your mindset?
Just get down to business, keep everything up front and in your face, very honest. Things like that, just maintain focus. It was a little difficult today because there's a lot of kids here today who are very, very into the falling. They like the falling, so if that's motivation for anything, I don't know what else is.
So you had to do a terrific performance. You've got that, so you've really put the first footing down in a great place.
Absolutely. First footing, singular, and in a great place through the air. Nothing better than this.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, the red, white, and blue of France. And if there is home ice advantage, it certainly must go to Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernardis. There is Sarah, who was injured at the Grand Prix final. They were given a reskate, and they won a silver medal. There is Stéphane, who was backstage, shrouded by security. After the stabbing incident yesterday, his arm heavily bandaged, and one wonders if it will affect them. Did not look like it affected them there. The powerful Chinese, Debbie Wilkes, they have to be considered the favorites with Berezhnaya and Sigerlitze out, because this team probably should have won last year.
I agree with you. They are certainly top of the board right at the moment, leading after the short program, ahead of the Russian team, now favorites from Russia, Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov.
And last to skate, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier.
Let's have a look, Rod, at how I'm going to compare the top three teams. I've broken it down into a couple of different categories, and see if you agree. Starting off with the twists. I really feel that it's the Chinese team that has the edge there. The lateral twist is absolutely breathtaking. It's so high and fast. The spins, I would have to say, go to the Russians. They are very consistent. The jumps, I have to tie the Chinese and the Russians. They are both planning to do 2 triple jumps in the long program. Lifts, however, I would have to say we got to go with the Canadians. Jamie and David have exquisite technique. They make it look simple. It's very original. I like it best because it's equal skill by both partners. In the throws, I'm going to tie again the Chinese and Canadians. They are breathtaking and consistent. Overall, I've got to give the edge to the Canadians. The program, the work, the creation, the piece of love story is what everybody's talking about.
I added up the 3 edges for China and the 3 edges for Canada. You can't have a tie. So what's going to happen? Obviously, the team that wants it most gets it.
Whoever skates the best.
Let's join Rob Falls once again.
1 year ago, Jamie Salé and David Pelletier qualified for the World Championships, but a back injury to Pelletier kept them from competing. Well, they've got a second chance, and they could be claiming a medal when they get through customs back in Canada. And it could be all because of Love Story. It's a free skate that has captivated not only audiences, but judges.
Well, we heard the music before we watched the movie. I knew the music from the past, but I had no idea what the movie was about. Just fell in love with the music right away.
The construction of Love Story began last April. For 4 days, they worked with choreographer Laurie Nickel. With the core of the program developed, Jamie and David spent the entire summer training. Since the program debuted in the fall, they've wowed audiences and judges with their delivery. Twice, they've earned perfect scores of 6.
You're able to get so into it and really enjoy the music and enjoy skating to it. I really can't believe how everybody's accepted it and really liked it. You could see the 3 parts of the movie when they first meet, and then when they fall in love and they're playing in the snow. The part where Dave and I face each other after the side-by-side spin is exactly where we both realize that she's dying in the movie, and that's what we really wanted to show, is that part where we just stand and face each other.
Just don't want to let go of her because I know she's dying.
To keep up with the physical demands of their programs this season, Jamie and David knew they had to improve their off-ice training.
Propulsion, drive, good. Whole foot, whole foot.
Yeah, working with Dennis Barrett, track and field coach at McGill University in Montreal, made a big difference for me and for Jamie too in the hard jumping, our ability to be quick on the ice.
More arms. Stay relaxed. That's very good. Stop. Good.
It's something different. I think a lot of athletes should really be involved in something besides just going to the gym and doing cardio. He really kicks our butt because he knows that we can be better than what we are, and he's always trying to push us to be stronger and better.
With the spotlight on them this season, Jamie and David are trying to keep it all in perspective.
You really have sometimes to, get back to focus of why you're so good and why you're having so good results, and it's because we're having fun, and you have to pay more and more attention the more year goes on, because you get more and more tired and caught up into the expectations of the people. So right now it's the fun part, like we're hunting. I don't want to be the hunted.
A figure skating love story that could result in a medal at the World Championships, a medal that could be gold. Final flight from France on CTV. Next.
La classe représentant la France.
En nuage, représenting France.
Sarah Abitbol, Stéphane Bernadis.
Well, this is what it will sound like for Saleh and Pelletier and maybe Sargent and Wirtz and maybe others next year when we are in Vancouver at the Worlds. On home ice, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernadis have never won a medal at the Worlds. They continue to run into walls and roadblocks and accidents and injuries, but they keep bouncing back like rubber balls.
They're fourth after the short program, Rod. Of course, being national favorites, they are also national heroes. The French treat their skaters like stars. Want to give you a heads up on the program. It's called The Angel and the Devil. Another team to begin their program with side-by-side triple toes. Good. Time that Stephan's arm will be tested in the program tonight.
Passed the test.
It's his left arm, lower left arm, bandaged from his wrist to his elbow.
If this team wins a medal at these Worlds, and that might cost them one, They would be the first French team since 1932 to win a medal.
No wonder they're stars. They're being very careful with everything. With the exception of Sarah's fall on the throw triple loop, everything has been very calculated. There's not much speed. They appear to be thinking very hard. Choreographically, all of the hard elements have been completed by now. From here on in, all they have to do is work on getting the character of the program across. Easier when you haven't got hard elements to do.
Yesterday, Stéphane Bernadise was stabbed by an unknown assailant at his hotel. Today, he's skating for a medal at the World Championships. The team of Avipol and Bernadise, beloved in their home country. This house is rocking now. 3 teams to come. They don't want Avipol and Bernadise to leave. Maybe they don't want to leave either.
Certainly got Academy Award possibilities.
Coming up, the Russians. Petrova, Tikhonov next. Then Shen and Zhao. Finally, Salé and Pelletier at the Worlds.
Tonight, they skated very carefully. It was not a program that had a lot of speed. There was very little ice coverage and no feeling like you're going to get from the rest of the teams to come that they're pushing the boards out of this building. They did, however, get their elements done. And the whole landscape of emotion has changed in this place, hasn't it?
Had the one glitch, the fall on the throw. 5 6s, 5 7s for technical merit. These marks will be good to elevate them into first place. Again, they began the night in 4th after the short program.
Thank you.
So right now they are doing things according to the script. Presentation marks. 5-8 from the Canadian judge. A few 5-8s, as a matter of fact. Avipol and Bernadise will now wait to see if indeed they can make it to the podium. The leaders at the 2000 Worlds get a couple of second-place ordinals, in fact. So it wasn't an overwhelming skate in the judges' minds. And now with Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Sigarlitse on the sidelines, the A-team out Time for the B team to rise
Sur
up.
la glace,
The B team,
représentant
who's
la
in second
Russie.
place after the short program.
On the ice, representing
Wonderful
Russia.
Russian team, Maria Petrova, Alexei Tikhonov,
Maria
who would have
Petrova,
rehearsed
Alexei
this very
Tikhonov.
experience. What happens if you skate after Sarah and Stefan?
Unenviable spot.
They're very calm at the side. They're taking their time. Nobody's rushing. Sign of control. But I know they've got butterflies. As great Canadian coach Carrie Leach once said, everybody's going to have butterflies. You just got to get them flying in formation. Here come their side-by-sides. One of two triple jumps planned in the program. Very good. This may be the second triple, starting with double axels, several hops. Second triple, two-footed by Maria. And soft on the landing of the throw triple Salchow. They do some fabulously creative stuff too.
Like Saleh and Pelletier and Ina and Zimmerman, this team has been together only a short time, 2 years. At one time, Alexei Tikhonov couldn't find a partner in Russia, so he was sent to Japan to skate with a partner there, and in return, the Russian Skating Federation received a van.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
It was a trade, and now he's skating for a world title.
Maria also has a lot of pair experience. She used to be the former partner of Anton Sigurulidze. Throw triple toe. Came to the ice like a feather. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but I think in order for this pair to become great, they need more stuff in between the elements. It's wonderful skating, but they don't do anything that makes me care about them.
But I'll tell you what, they got the tricks, and they put the pressure on the next two teams because they must skate perfectly too. They may not have the style of Berezhnaya and Sigurlice, their countrymen. But at the end of the night, based on the next two teams, they could have what Berezhnaya and Sigurlice have. Gold medals. Petrova and Tikhonov.
Maria Petrova,
The Chinese champions are next, followed by the Canadian champions at the 2000 Worlds in France. I think the Russians should name a minivan after him.
Who do I have to speak to?
What a great skate by Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov.
They started strongly, Rod. Good side-by-side, I'm calling them throws, triple toes. And they kind of upped the ante by electing to do in the next sequence another set of triple toes. But it did not work out.
Maria Petrova, Alexei Tikhonov.
I believe Maria two-footed, that's the double axel to begin with. They do a couple of hops. And I think that Alexei just did a double.
In fact, a couple of doubles in there. So they weren't perfect.
But the lifts were gorgeous. He is such a good partner. I don't know about you, but normally I watch the woman. Try to pull your eyes down to watch the man's feet during the lifts. Should be easy, confident, turning 1 foot at a time.
Good marks for technical merit and for presentation. 5.8, a 5.6 from the American judge, 5.7 from Canada. Some room being left.
Lots of room.
Petrova and Tikhonov are the leaders. They will win a medal at the Worlds. The question is, which color? Abby Paul and Bernadise are now second. And the winner, of course, of the free skate captures the gold medal.
But there's no pressure.
Sur la glace, représentant la Chine.
On the ice, representing China.
Zhao.
Remember last year in Helsinki, the judging controversy? It did have an effect on the final placement for Shen and Zhao.
Well, yeah, a lot of people thought they really should have won. They had the skate of their career. They had another one of those in the short program here.
The leaders with the Canadians next.
This team is about speed. Everything they do is powerful. They look like they're being chased by a pack of demons. Or by Alexander Apt. Double axels, stepping into triple toes.
And a step out on the double axel by Hongbo. So no one has been perfect yet.
Watch this triple twist, lateral. Not as high as I've seen. Oh. Throw triple loop, breathtaking. Since working with choreographer Sandra Bezic, they have become so much more aware of steps, style, and music. And right here, stepping into another triple toe. Problems. Hongbo only doubled. That may be the door Petrova Tikhonov needs. Step off of the landing. When they hit that line, the extensions are wonderful. I get the feeling as I watch, their feet are flexible, almost like they're wearing slippers. A forward outside death spiral.
Beautiful team to watch, and they are very talented, but we have seen a better performance from the Chinese. There still is some room.
I think they left the door open, maybe, for Sargent and Pelletier.
A couple of hiccups. Hongbo couldn't complete 3 revolutions twice. And you're right, the door to gold may have swung open for Sargent and Pelletier, who are next. Petrova, Tikhonov, the current leaders at the 2000 Worlds. The Grand Prix final this year, national Chinese champions, second in the world a year ago.
Let's see what happened in the side-by-side combinations. This double axel, which is the beginning of the triple sequence, would be considered a much more difficult triple jump than just doing the triple toe by its own. Here was the twist. I didn't think up to their usual standard, nonetheless breathtaking. Her split is very poor, and the rule book claims quite distinctly that there must be a perfect split by the woman. Here's the second double toes, Hongbo only doubling. Second set of triple toes. They do reach back. He just seemed to open up. The body, in order to get those 3 rotations done, must be very, very tightly wound.
Makes you wonder if the judges, again, looking at the technical merit of this program against Petrova Tikhonov, obviously the presentation seemed to be better than the Russians. Whether those little glitches might even put the Chinese behind the Russians.
And I think that the Russians' lifts were superior, generally, in terms of quality and difficulty.
Technical merit marks. The crowd not liking this. 5-8s, 5-7s.
5-8, 5-7, 5-8.
And the presentation marks
5-7, 5-7,
to come for Zhao, Shen, and Hongbo Zhao of China.
It's certainly not unanimous.
Look at that. Look at that. In fact, the ordinals split. You can hear the whistling from the fans.
5-8.
Even a couple of third-place ordinals, and indeed the Chinese are now in second place. Petrova, Tikhonov are the leaders.
Second for the moment. That means they're second in the free program. It depends on the Canadians.
Représentant le Canada.
On the ice, representing Canada.
Jamie Salé, David Pelletier.
Not many teams in the world have been fast-tracked to stardom like these two. Not many teams would be able to skate in the final spot and want it. These two do. And they could now join a long list of Canadian pairs who have become world champions.
The wonderful thing about this team, too, is that they don't realize how good they are.
Jamie Salé and David Pelletier. And their love story.
They are also beginning with the side-by-side triple jumps. Jamie did not get the rotation. Wow, what a twist. Her rotation was finished very early. Sign of a good lift. They need this next combination, side-by-side double axles. Jamie opened again.
Double axles have been a problem this season.
Another attempt.
There is Jamie Saleh's mother in the crowd. They made 3 significant errors. Double axles may have cost them. Might come down to the presentation mark too. It's going to be very difficult for them to win. Question is, can they hang on for a medal? They began the night in 3rd. That's where the French team is right now. We'll have their marks from the World Championships in Nice, France on CTV in a moment. This season, they started the year off by beating the world champions.
They were the golden children, you know. They just couldn't put a step wrong.
Until tonight.
Well, yes, the jumps, you got to have them. There's no question. Still, the work, the choreography, that wonderful 4.5 minutes is enchanting. Still, I think Jamie was so terribly upset right from the very first triple toe attempt here. She just did not get her rotation. She didn't look like she was into the ice, and I think it bothered her throughout. Now, she is a wonderful actress, pulled the story off, but not with the same kind of intensity, thinking constantly about what the next jump was going to be. Still, the throws were superb. This is the throw triple loop. Not 1 ounce of hesitation. No problems at all there. Funny that she'd be able to do the throws and not be able to do the individual jumps.
They haven't had much problem with the side-by-side triples. Again, those are the measuring sticks for the best in the world. And that's probably what's going to keep them from that #1 spot, not being able to do the side-by-sides. The double axel, though, again, it's been sort of an Achilles heel all season long.
It's one of those things, you get a little germ set in your mind, and all of a sudden you really think, oh, I can't do it. It's something you have to work through. And sometimes, depending on the evolution and development of your athletic skills, you lose things for a while. They come back, and they'll be back. And Jamie will be back and be able to do way more than just the double axel.
2 very classy young athletes, Saleh and Pelletier. Let's see if they hang on for a medal here. Technical merit marks. Won't be good enough. 5 4s, 5 6s, 5 5s, and all of that work and all of the talk about a potential gold medal has resulted in a 4th place finish.
Thank you.
They finish out of the medals.
Marks for
Presentation marks very high. But disappointment for Jamie Saleh and David Pelletier, undoubtedly.
5-8.
They came here to get a medal.
5-9, 5-9, 5-8.
I know they were really experiencing a lot of nerves coming into the event. I know it would have been wonderful to have a medal. It's thrilling for the French team, Adbifol and Bernadis, to come up with the bronze. Jamie and David have a great future ahead of them. They shouldn't be discouraged. They should be proud of what they've accomplished in such a short period of time.
Oh, undoubtedly as well. That has been a remarkable ascent. But how about Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov? For the 30th time in the last 37 or 36 years, Soviets or Russians have won the pairs titles.
And you know that one that wasn't won by the Soviets?
Well,
you know.
Canadians.
Yeah, actually 2.
Saleh and Pelletier finish 4th. And for the first time since 1932, France has won a medal in the pairs competition. Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz finish 10th. And a 4th for Saleh and Pelletier means 14 points. Canada will only send 2 teams to the World Championships next year in Vancouver. Tough, tough luck. Stéphane Bernadis and Sarah Abitbol have won a bronze medal. A highly emotional evening in Nice, France. Russia has won gold again in pairs skating. They were expected to win this year, but not this team. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov. And how about France? Their first medal in pairs since 1932. And for Canada, abject disappointment tonight for Jamie Salé and David Pelletier, who are with Rob Faulds.
A difficult and disappointing day for you. The lifts were there, the throws were there, the jumps were missing. What happened?
I honestly can't tell you. I think my triple toe really caught me off guard. I haven't missed it all year. I think it just kind of mentally lost it after that.
How much have all the events of the day, the extra security because of the French team, I don't know if you knew about the situation with the Ukraine team, did that affect you at all as you tried to prepare for this free skate?
No, not at all. We were ready, and it's just sport is life, you know, and life brings you some hard times, and so is sport. And this is nothing compared to what life can bring you. And I still enjoy skating as much as I did an hour ago. And I mean, we did top 5. That's what we wanted to do. Maybe not the way we wanted to do it, but we did it. And I'm going back home, my head high. That's it.
As you take a look at this, it has been such a remarkable climb for this team. I mean, last year you were supposed to be at the World Championships, and injury kept you here. You've now established yourself as one of the top 5, perhaps top 3 teams in the world. You've got to take a lot from this and build on it.
For sure. Every time we skate, it's an experience, and just keep building from there, and this is all part of it. Unfortunately, it was me, but it happens, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's done, and we'll just move on to next year, and it's going to be a good one.
So that's a matter of just building for next year.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Debbie Wilkes, how refreshing is that to hear from an athlete that they admit that they succumb to pressure, but that they will bounce back?
Well, I have to say kudos to the judging squad tonight. I thought they really called it, especially after the pressure they must have been feeling from the Helsinki debacle last year. I think they hit it right on the mark. That took some kind of courage, too, because I think the Canadian team was highly favored, loved because of this wonderful program.
An emotional night, like we said, that started with the fall from the Ukrainian team. Our best wishes. We'll have an update tomorrow on the condition of young Dmitry Palamarchuk, who had that nasty fall earlier in the evening. Tomorrow.